I'm here with top pro player Zane Navratil.
And the boom to finish.
Serve goes over to Zane Navratil. What happened there?
And today, he's gonna teach me how to maximize my serve.
I mean, well, if you're just gonna do that every time, that's pretty good. Turning your serve into a weapon can really help you get into the kitchen a little bit easier and as a result, win more points.
Yes! So what's your mindset when it comes to hitting a good serve?
Yeah, definitely. So the first part of my mindset is being okay with missing, actually. People think that because you are in complete control of your serve that you should never miss a serve and that the serve is just to start the point and that all you want to do is get it in. If I were to use that logic on any other shot, whether it's a dink or a volley or a return, I could go the rest of 2025 playing professional pickleball and not miss another shot. I would hit everything 8 feet over the net and I would lose every point too. So inherently, we understand that there's a risk-reward trade-off on every single shot that we hit. However, people don't apply that to the serve. If you're making 100% of your serves, you need to take on more risk. You should never make 100% of your serves. That's my mindset. I'm okay with missing. After I'm established that, I'm okay missing serves, the number one thing that I want to accomplish is getting good depth on my serve. For me, I've done all types of crazy stuff with my serve over the years. I invented the chainsaw serve. I switched over to Morgan Evans' spin serve with the snap after the chainsaw was illegal. All that was great, but all of that was secondary to getting good depth on my serve, because if I can get this ball to land in the back 6 feet of the court, it accomplishes my objective of keeping my opponent back and getting me an easier third shot as a result of it. When I hit these serves, I'm trying to get them into the back 6 feet of the court and being okay missing 1 out of every 20 or so.
Okay, 1 out of every 20, so maybe like 5% or so of my serves, that's should be just totally fine, write it off, it's all good?
It depends slightly on whether you're playing men's doubles, mixed doubles, women's doubles, or singles. Those numbers are slightly different. In singles, I'm actually okay missing up to 10% of my serves. In men's doubles, it might be 1 out of 25. In mixed doubles, or if the other team is unwinding a stack, okay, you want to be a little bit more aggressive. There are times to take more risk and times to take a little bit less.
And when we talk about missing, I guess there's 3 ways you can miss. You can miss long, you can miss wide, or you can miss in the net. What are you looking for in terms of are you more okay with any of those versus the other? Or?
Yeah, 100%. Never miss in the net. It doesn't accomplish your objective, right? I'm trying to get the ball deep. If I miss in the net, I wasn't even close. Missing wide doesn't do a tremendous amount for us. If you play against fast players, right, they're gonna be able to hit whatever shot they want, whether that's a forehand or a backhand. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to get it to my backhand if I wanna hit a forehand, right? Hitting that ball deep, if I'm gonna miss my serve deep.
All right, so let's get into the first thing here. So help me with my grip. So I'm in a continental grip right here. It's kind of like your more standard, I guess, if we were talking about playing at the kitchen, but in terms of serves, show me what I should be doing.
Yeah, so I'm in a continental at the kitchen line. The way that we're gonna grip our paddle for the serve, or at least if you wanna hit a heavy topspin serve like we're gonna work on today, is the first step is throwing your paddle on the ground. Now, we're gonna put our hand on top of the paddle just like this and pick it up. And that's going to be more of that semi-Western sort of closed face grip right here, which allows us to brush off of the back of the ball, get a little bit more height on our serve, and get a little bit more depth on our serve. So grip, I like to use that semi-Western to be able to generate a little bit more brush, a little bit more topspin.
All right, cool. So if you're teaching someone and they said, hey, I really like that continental grip, what would you tell them?
I'd say that's okay, but understand your trade-offs, right? A continental grip is going to be much better for a flat sort of serve. It's a lot more difficult to get that heavy top spinning serve with this continental grip.
Yeah, I can feel that for sure. Then I guess when you swing through, like you said, I can feel it's so much easier to just close over the top of the ball versus continental, that's more like a push, I guess, right?
Right. Continental, you'd be hitting more through the ball, whereas that semi-Western, you can really brush off of the back of the ball a little bit better.
All right, I got my grip. I'm in that semi-Western grip. Now, how do I actually hit it?
First thing we'll talk about is contact point. So when I'm up here about to serve, I like to sort of close my stance up, right? I think about pointing my shoulders towards my target here, right? So if I'm serving to the deuce or the even side, my shoulder is gonna line up towards my target. If I'm going the other way, towards the odd side, I'm gonna close my shoulders up this way. Some people like that open stance. I am not a believer in that whatsoever, because I think it's more difficult than it needs to be to get that upper body rotation when you're standing here with that open stance. when I see amateur level players do it, they don't rotate the same way that the pros do. They end up hitting with just their arm like this. So good tip, if you're an amateur level player, you don't want to copy the pros on everything that they do, right? You can generate a little bit better spin and a little bit more consistency by closing up the stance here. And for me, I like to think about making contact near my front leg, right? I don't want to make contact in line with my body here because it's very difficult to brush up the back of the ball if I'm hitting in line with my body. Instead, I want to be meeting the ball out in front. One last thing is I feel like my power really starts with drive from the back leg. I'm actually going to load in the back leg and then go get the ball out in front of me here. A lot of times I see people start here and then go like this, right? Where they transfer their weight before they actually swing. We want to make sure that we're loaded on the back leg and then we go get that ball. Should look something like this, right? I've got my stance closed up here, got my shoulders in line with where I want to go. I'm gonna load on my back foot and go get that ball out in front of me there.
So if I'm really struggling hitting the ball out in front and I'm constantly making contact in here, right? That's a big problem. How can I correct that? What should I be thinking of?
So I like to try and define that for people. So I'm gonna try and make contact in front of my front leg and look for that as my contact point there.
So I guess I need to make sure then that I'm releasing the ball in front of my foot, right? I could never release the ball.
Rather than having your arm be right in front of your body this way, you're going to angle it off in front of you here.
So what you say, maybe even over the line potentially? That's okay, right?
Yeah.
If I have it over the line, I can always make contact as long as I'm not stepping over.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna try one. Let me know how I do.
Load the back leg.
Not
Give it
enough
a
load.
little bit more weight in the back first so that you can really transfer through. There we go, I like that.
Yeah, that was definitely heavier. One more pop on that one.
Yeah, I like that. Yep, almost that like rocking the weight back. A lot of times people transfer the weight forward, but they haven't rocked it back yet, right? A lot of times I see people serving there, as opposed to you rock back and there.
So do you start with your, like in tennis, right? Like when we hit a tennis serve, we start with our weight on front, we rock back, toss it up, and then transfer the weight forward. So are you starting with your weight forward, pulling it back, and then, because I feel like I would get maybe more momentum if I come back and then go through? I don't know, are you kind of rocking with it at all, or?
You can. It doesn't matter to me so much so long as you get into this loaded position back here. So whatever sort of method you want to get there, great. So I am on the front foot a little bit here, and then I set back a little bit, boom. So you've got a good heavy serve. Right now, what pro players and what high-level players are doing is they're mixing up two different types of serves. You've got a very spinny but sort of low arcing serve, right? It's low over the net, it's very powerful. However, when it comes to me, it's gonna come to me on a straight line, right? It's coming to me basically flat towards my paddle, so I only need to time the return on one plane. I only need to time it on the horizontal axis. Whereas if you throw in a higher and heavier and spinnier one every once in a while, it forces your opponent to stay back a little bit. It's easier to get that ball into the back 6 feet of the court. And it also forces your opponent to time it on two axes. Not only is it coming to you on the horizontal axis, it's also bouncing upwards and you need to time it here. So pro players are throwing in two different types of serves. They'll throw in the harder, flatter serve like that, and they'll throw in a loopier, sort of deeper serve so that your opponent can't get a rhythm off of your serve. You've got the really good harder and flatter serve. Now what I'd like to see you add on top of that is, remember when we had the toss out in front? We're actually going to bring that toss position back a little bit. We're going to angle our hips a little bit further upwards so that we can really get further underneath the ball and give it a higher arc. So here's the first way. Toss is a little bit further out in front. My hips are pretty level and I'm pushing through the ball. The next way is I'm going to try and transfer my weight with my hips actually angled slightly upwards to get a little bit more arc on this ball. Here's the first way. Boom. Here's the second way.
No, that's too much.
Well, that went over the fence too, but
Didn't
on the
bounce
fly.
first though.
So
Oh, I got that. I think I was
almost
wrong.
got it. Only thing is you want to still make sure that you're not like falling
Okay.
backwards on it. You're still trying to transfer your weight forwards through it.
So I want to angle my hips up, but still keep my weight going forward,
Yep.
right?
Nice. You mishit it a little bit, but the tech
Swing
looked good.
Swing was good.
Nice, there it is.
There it is,
Dude, that's
all
going to be a pain in the butt for anybody to return. That was deep, and it's going to be kicking up to him right here. That's so,
Yeah.
it bounced right over the fence.
Love it.
Throwing that in, now throw in a fast one. I mean, well, if you're just going to do that every time, that's pretty good. You can skip my serve that we just did, but
No, I'm gonna start mixing it up, and then can't get a rhythm on me.
takes a little
You know,
bit of
too
time
much,
to like find the depth on it, right? It's a little
Yeah.
the depth. It's tough to find the balance of the spin, the height, and the speed on this. So it takes like messing around with because it's a totally new way of hitting it.
Do you think I should be changing my swing speed? So I feel like I'm probably swinging it around the same speed right now for the hard one and the heavy topspin one. Should I be changing like how fast I'm trying to swing, or?
No, ideally it's a pretty similar speed, except when you're hitting the hard serve, you're coming through it more. When you're hitting this spinnier, higher serve, you're coming off of it more. So it's a different direction of the swing speed, right? When you swing through, all of the energy of your paddle is going into hitting the ball hard. When you're swinging up, all of the energy of your paddle is going towards generating that spin. So the swing speed for me is still the same. It's just how much of the ball I catch,
Right.
right? So there versus there. Same sort of swing speed, but different contact.
All right, so there's a flat one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Dude, that's good. That's really good. Nice. So yeah, mixing those two serves up is really good because your opponent doesn't know what to expect. You can get him with a fastball. You can get him with that higher bouncing one. And that one really keeps your opponents away from the kitchen line.
Right.
I find it a little bit easier to get that ball into the back 6 feet of the court when you're giving it a little bit more arc. I almost think of the last 6 feet of the court like a basket, right? If you're shooting a basketball and you have no arc, it's really difficult to get it in the basket. If you're giving it a little bit more arc, easier to get it in that basket.
So in tight moments, like let's say 9-9 in the third game, what's your mindset?
Yeah, my mindset is do what got me here, right? Like there have been matches in pro singles or pro doubles where I've missed serves on match points and lost those matches. Does it suck? Of course, but it's the way that I'm going to play. I'm not going to ease up on this because this is what gave me that opportunity to be there. Some of the most clutch players that we think of, if you look at their stats, somebody like Jordan or Kobe, they're really not that clutch. They do what they always do. There's definitely a thing as choking. There's not that much of a thing of somebody being clutch. They make the shots that they always make. Whereas other people, when the pressure hits, they miss the shots that they always make. When 10-10 comes around, you gotta trust what got you there and also trust that, look, I'm gonna go after this serve. I think that this play is gonna win me 53% of points or whatever that might be. And if you miss that serve going for the same exact shot that you go for every single time, you gotta live with that. I would rather go for the shots that I go for all the time than ease off. I fear the regret of not going for it more than I fear the failure of I missed my shot, even though I went for it.
Love it. So now Zane's gonna hit some of those serves at me, and I'm gonna see how difficult it is to return them. Yeah, it's definitely.
It's not actually so much about how difficult the serve is to return. I think this return can actually be a little bit easier than the flat one, but it's how difficult it is to get your weight moving forward and get all the way to the kitchen line. That's what I'm really trying to accomplish with this high heavy serve is it pushes you back, and then I can come take my third shot early and basically get to the kitchen before you.
Okay.
So this is a mix-up that's not the most difficult return. However, it is the most difficult approach, if that makes sense.
Got it. So you're just trying to keep me back, so that way it makes your third easier.
Yeah,
I guess it exposes my feet. I'll come up after.
Yeah, try and come forward after it. right? Hopefully I can get that to you before you get to the kitchen. Well, you're hitting nice and deep returns. If you're hitting good returns like that.
Yep.
Yes!
All right, I learned so much right there, and my serve already feels so much better, more power, more spin. That heavy topspin one was absolutely insane. I got a lot to work on for that, so I'm gonna be out there practicing it. If you guys learned anything from that video, make sure you subscribe because there's gonna be a lot more where that came from.
I had a great time filming stuff with the Pickleball Clinic, and I also have a YouTube channel where I put out a lot of different things, including recap videos of all the pro pickleball action, instructional videos to help you get better, and some of these fun pros versus 5-0s challenges on my channel as well. So thanks to the Pickleball Clinic for having me.